Troy's like tickling me while I'm reading.
Just jabs to the ribs.
I just think sometimes it's a little bit of fun to have you all smiling. You've been here all morning. You get here at like 3:30, and
wait till I'm done reading.
By the
for a
time you
little
come
tickle.
to this show, you're like.
We do have a little bit of a lull.
My sister likes to do that. She'll walk around and go, surprise tickle. But to people she doesn't know, I'm like, no, you're a little old for the surprise tickle.
Oh, I think it's okay. It's all right. It's okay to have a little bit of fun to waken everything up.
That's right.
Hey, how are you both? The storms last night, anything major?
Forecast verified. Crews from the National Weather Service in both Louisville and Jackson, Kentucky, they're out doing their surveys. We're getting reports from Scott County just off to our north. At 65 miles per hour. That's what they're guessing. So
more storms?
No. This is from, they go out and recap yesterday's
Okay, gosh.
But the good news is some damage, but no injuries.
That's
and
right.
all the severe weather last
really
night.
great.
What a difference a day makes. We went from 80 degrees yesterday to 40s and rain. It's just kind of miserable.
It's funny because when I went out, I go out on my balcony every morning in my bathrobe and sort of look out over the paddocks and see what's going on. And I was like, ooh. And I immediately thought of Eric, and I thought, I wonder what temperature it is this morning. But anyway, it is what it is.
Thanks for thinking of me,
6 a.m., that's what I'm thinking about.
Moment of zen each morning, and I'm on your mind.
Well, and I was a little cloudy in my head also because I went to the launch of the Tops magazine last night. Let's bring up that picture. And, of course, as you know, that I'm dancing in Dancing with the Stars Lexington, and they featured me in there along with the other dancers. And, of course, everyone else just had a normal pose of standing beside their partner.
I was going to say, did you come up with that one?
Yes, not me. I had to be a little bit difficult and do something a little bit...
I love it. What a fabulous dress.
Well, we're wearing gold. And I'm dancing to the jive to Proud Mary, which apparently is the hardest song. Of course, if you want to come along to the night, all the information is up on the screen now. The Rotary Club of Lexington. It is on May 13, everyone. Of course, you can head over to our website, Dancing with Us, WTVQ.com/Midday Kentucky. We'll have all the information up there. I was going to say Dancing with the Stars ABC.
Well,
I wish I was on there.
That's a
I'm
fine
loving
program
seeing
too.
all your videos practicing, getting ready so far. He's
my
pretty
gosh.
good. He's got
I'm
some
getting
moves.
there.
I was chatting with Hunter Lyle in the newsroom, and he said you picked a very hard dance.
Oh boy.
I
As of
can't
course
wait
you
to
would.
see it because we're going to be there.
Yeah, we're going to be
that,
there.
Look, I have to
That
be honest
table.
with you. I wanted it just something that was fun. I didn't want to do ballroom, and I didn't realize the jive was really hard. It is really hard. I thought I could do it.
I'm glad
worried.
you picked the hard
You
one. I
better
can't wait to
keep
see it. I'm
practicing.
sure you'll be great.
Why wouldn't you want to do like a salsa? Like
Yeah, I
it's
know.
all just
I
kind
know.
of
Why
shaking
didn't
it.
I like
don't
that
know.
little
And how does-
salsa you've
I
got
was
going
like,
on.
how does
That's
it
I've
work?
Jimmy.
salsa at Arthur Murray, and we've had a few.
You've salsa'd.
Oh yeah, at Arthur Murray
I
Dance
didn't know
Studio.
that.
Yeah, he
embarrass
went out there for a
myself every now and
salsa.
again.
Okay. Well, so I went to the event last night. I got to meet lots of locals, and as you know, I don't go out that much at night. Either do you guys. I had 2 glasses of wine, and I woke up with a bit of a hangover this morning.
Oh my
2
goodness.
glasses
Oh
of wine,
boy.
people.
Drink some
I'm
water.
a lightweight.
Drink some
Yeah,
I'm a
just
water.
drink some
lightweight.
water or
Hey,
Pedialyte.
Wait. Did we find a horse on a stick yet for Katie?
don't
We
know
have
what that
not.
is.
Remember from yesterday?
Oh,
you have the worst memory.
I do.
You really do.
No, I don't have. I only have short term. Like
Selective memory.
Selective.
Selective memory.
Hey, we're going to get into table talk, and I thought this was really interesting because this is a story about how weddings details have changed over the years compared to what they used to be. And as I said, I think the average wedding here in America is $35,000. I think.
Yeah, I
saw
remember
the
you had
other
a
day.
story this past
Yeah,
week. Wow.
and I just wanted to say to you, do you think that the traditions have become out of control cost-wise?
I've had a lot of destination weddings, and they add up, especially when you've got multiple friends. This age that I'm in, I guess people are starting to grow up a little faster than me. But I feel like the old school church and then reception wedding is just a thing of the past. It's almost everyone is like, book your flight to Mexico, we're going, it's going to be a great time.
My brother is getting married in a church in June.
Okay.
Their traditional reception. But I actually think that ups the cost for attendees, but I'm seeing that as a trend with my friends having destination weddings because it does cost them less. Because once you get a certain amount of people to go, you get the venue for free.
Okay, well, but the guests are paying for that because I went to Mexico in January for one of my dearest friends, and I didn't care when I'm saying this, I'm not saying it because of the money. The accommodation alone was $3,000.
Oh, yeah.
Right,
and
so,
that's
but
during
I'm
a
saying
weekend.
that puts,
Yeah, 4 nights wasn't I away
Yeah,
or something?
like that.
but it's taking the cost off the bride and
Yeah, but
groom.
I didn't know that.
So then,
She's a
well,
cheapskate.
that's how those
And they got a
destination
gift,
weddings
too.
work. Then they end
Right.
up not paying for the wedding, so you get a certain amount of people
yeah.
to go. I also like the thought of a destination wedding because it automatically cuts down the guest list. You don't have to invite people just because you work with them or you feel like you have to. You can just have close family
I want to
and
tell you
friends.
about this. The traditional weddings were not as traditional as what you think. So you were talking about church and receptions and all that. That was never around back in the day.
Okay.
And this has only become in the last, say, 100 years or so. Traditional weddings were on weekdays and they were early, which I found really interesting. You ready
okay.
for this? That they were saying that more than a century ago, there was a rhythm, let me tell you, that was helped brides pick a date. Okay?
Like,
I'm not
like
going-
a song?
Well,
or
you ready
like,
for this?
Oh, a rhyme,
Mondays
a
were for
rhyme.
wealth and Tuesdays were for health. This is the days you got paid. Wednesday, the best day of all. Thursdays for crosses. Fridays for losses. And Saturdays for no luck at all. Now, basically what they were saying is no one got married on a Saturday. Okay? And back in Utah, where I was for a few years, a lot of the Mormons used to get married during the week. And how many people do you
interesting.
know that say they can't get married on the weekends, so they get married on a Thursday or Friday?
I don't know
A lot
anyone,
of,
actually.
Okay, a lot of my friends did that in Australia, and it was to cut the costs down.
Oh, okay, I've
Well, I
heard
could
of
see
people
that.
doing that, but I haven't
Yeah.
heard of them doing it for this reason.
Interesting, receptions were optional and simple over a century ago. And even right up until 1960, they were saying that it wasn't necessary for people to have a reception.
That's the best
You
part.
got to entertain.
But, who says that, though? But this is, what you're saying is a traditional wedding.
I'm thinking
We're
80s,
talking
90s,
church.
2000s.
Yeah, so traditional wedding is what we know. They go to church, they have the engagement parties, blah. That was never really around back in the day. I found that interesting. And what I found even more interesting, which is changing ever so slightly now, parents didn't always pay.
Okay.
Okay, so you know how we always hear, I don't know what the custom
I'm
is
like,
here.
I don't like that tradition.
But it's happening more and more where the bride and groom are getting paying for their own wedding.
Okay.
Okay. And it's interesting to see that back in, like when my sisters were getting married, that the grooms paid for the bucks night and the alcohol. And the bride's family paid for the actual wedding and the honeymoon.
Well, this is what my brother is doing. Again, I've said he's getting married in June. Bride's family is covering most of the cost of the actual wedding. My dad's doing rehearsal dinner, open bar at the wedding, and then a brunch on Sunday that he's covering.
That's big.
Well, that's nice.
So, but I've heard that's pretty traditional. A lot of
Any-
times,
yeah.
groom's
Yeah.
family, rehearsal, alcohol, and
Yeah.
like a brunch. the
Any
next
bit
day.
helps. But I remember in the very early days of Midday Kentucky when we did Southern wedding traditions.
Oh, yeah.
Bury the bourbon. I still don't understand that one, but that's the only one I remember.
I don't
so.
like
I
that.
remember that. That
Bury
was,
the
I think, our
bird.
first week of the show or
See,
something,
you've
wasn't
got
it?
a good memory
Yeah, I
after
do.
all.
See, you just have to prompt
Selective.
me. No, but you have to prompt me. You said, have we got her a horse yet? I'm like, well, we got a horse.
Yeah.
I didn't know where you
still
were
Well,
coming
So
from.
do you think parents should it be even bride and groom?
Well,
or do
I
you like that
personally think,
tradition?
look, I come from a traditional Italian family, so we have a different mindset.
I'm not
Do you
letting
know what I
Dad
mean?
off the hook.
Yeah, I hear where you're coming from, but
Open bar.
I think nowadays there's a lot of money
No,
spent
I
on
would.
weddings,
It's offensive.
and I would rather see the bride and groom spend it on a house,
Yeah.
or you know something that can help their future.
Yeah,
That's what
I
I,
agree.
think
I like
anyway.
that.
Something that was really interesting that you brought up is that how men benefit from women's minds.
Yeah,
or
this
what?
this was an interesting story I saw in USA Today this morning. It's basically saying that women do most of the mental housework at home. They're talking about how men rely on women to keep track of all of the chores, even if the man is doing it. They don't do it until they're told, which then leads to alleged nagging. But they're really
Who's
relying.
nagging though? The
You-
men are nagging the wives?
No, they say the wife
No,
is
the other way
nagging
around.
men. You know, like do the chores, do the chores.
I could
you know.
see that. Like
But-
if you made me a list, I could check one
But
thing
see,
off
that's
at a
what this
time,
study
at
is
least.
saying. Men are relying on their wives or girlfriends to keep track of their chores and also just to-do lists. Anything they need to do outside of work, relying predominantly on their wives to keep track of what they have to do. What do you think?
I think that's more out of convenience
Yeah.
because I'm quite okay without having to rely on a woman in my life to do everything. Mind you, I do have a housekeeper that does everything for me.
Okay, so
but-
you do,
you know what I mean?
actually.
I'm
Wait,
just-
wait,
As
wait,
I'm
wait.
saying that, I'm thinking, hold on, she does wash for me and iron.
Probably makes you a list every
But she
now
probably
and again.
keeps track of what you
And
have to
she
do.
does leave. She said to me the other day, you need some more timber coat hangers. I said, I'll just go get them and leave the receipt. No.
Yeah.
So she does. I'm going to take everything back that I said. Okay?
I'm glad
Everything.
we're talking this out. She
Yeah.
should get the credit she is
That's
deserved.
right.
I just
Yeah.
know.
She
if-
just doesn't have to have the misfortune of being married to me.
Yeah. Well, if my dad didn't have his wife, I think he would just. I don't even know what he would do. She keeps track of everything that he does outside of his business for work.
Okay.
But all personal life things, my dad would have no idea what he's doing. I don't even think he could dress himself.
Do you really
without
think you
her.
need a woman to get through your
It
day?
probably couldn't help. I mean, it could help. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes. I mean, I get dressed in the dark most mornings, so.
Well, sometimes we realize
a second
that.
set of eyes on
Yes.
it would, you know, maybe.
And what is interesting, relying on the women to keep track of these lists of things, like getting your
got you.
taxes done.
Yeah.
We finally both
We
just
finally
are dealing with that.
adulted and at least made an appointment.
All right. Oh, you
Should
did?
have had a lady.
And isn't it too late to be doing your taxes now?
No, we got another
No,
week and a
got
half.
about
Oh,
a
you
week
better
and a
get
half.
cracking.
We are. Well, it's next Thursday.
Oh,
so
good
we'll
job.
get it all sorted.
Hey, if you ever have to have maybe a hostile work environment, or you need to have tips on standing up to the bully who maybe works at the desk beside you, is that what you?
Well, you can't pick your coworkers unless you're the
No,
boss. Then
or
you
your
can pick
family.
or yeah, whatever. But
Kind of you can.
sometimes there is that one person in the office, or maybe multiple people in the office, that you don't exactly get along with that well. So we have a couple of tips to maybe get through this. Consult a friend. Sometimes I'll text Katie. She helps. She'll talk me off the ledge every now and again. Kill them
Is
with,
this if you're having an issue with them?
or if they're just
is
a
this-
rude person in general. You know,
Right.
if they're just not pleasant to work with. The images here are pretty entertaining. But kill them with
I think
kindness.
I saw that in our meeting earlier between you guys.
Yeah,
the
about
paper
once
in the
a-
face.
I'm just thinking, why are you bringing all this up? Like,
Why are we bringing it up? Well, we have our little spats from time to time. We're going to be honest here.
we're very creative people.
Don't blame them. So if I'm unhappy with you, Troy, I can't just single-handedly blame you. Maybe maybe I'm being.
That's
the
very
rude
big of
one.
you.
Well, that's what the list says. That's not what I think.
Look, can I just say something?
Go ahead.
I think men hold grudges against each other longer than women do against each other.
Actually, I think men let things go faster.
Yeah.
Or you mean man to man?
Man to
I don't
man.
know. Well, I've never been in a
Yeah.
man to man spat, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Usually after a day or two, I'm just kind of like over it.
Well, 15
They're
minutes.
not going anywhere.
Okay. I got
They're
you.
Yeah.
going to keep
I got
showing
you.
up throughout
It's different
the
with
week.
coworkers because no matter what, you still have to come in and see them. It's not like
That's
a
right.
friend that you can just stop talking to.
And it says you should be assertive. So maybe let them know, like, hey, I'm not too fond of you doing this each
Well,
and
here is
every
your
day.
opportunity.
Yeah.
What?
Come to a specific conclusion, and then the last one, take it up with the manager. No one likes a tattletale, but if it is that bad and it is affecting your work, maybe go to the higher-ups. What's with the giggles?
I don't know. I just seem to think you two know something that I don't.
We're all sitting here. We're all friends. We were jabbing each other.
I'm a little bit concerned that, it was pointed at me.
Wow. Katie was involved, too.
Wait, I'm a rude
We
coworker
spend
too.
so much time throughout the day together.
Yeah, we spend a lot of
Right.
time together
Good.
at all the
Eventually,
shows.
someone's going to
Okay.
say something
I
stupid.
was a little bit
Yeah, we
scared
got to
there for
know
a
how to
minute.
talk to each other. We'll just work
Hey,
it out this way. We'll
well,
just avoid trips together.
We're going to head over
Yeah,
to the
no
commercial
long road
break.
trips.
Interesting. We'll take those points to,
Just in
we'll
case.
put it on Facebook.
Just in
but I don't know
case.
who you're saying it to. Katie, what's happening, my friend?
It was more general conversation.
Well, coming up next, you have just some stubborn cellulite that won't go away. I think we all do. Men, women,
I don't think
you've
men get
got it.
cellulite.
Let me.
Are you sure?
I'll check you in the break. Everyone has cellulite. Well, there's good news. Dr. Fadi Basha from the Anti-Aging Institute, he's back to tell us how you can get rid of your cellulite. This is amazing.
All right,
It's
we're
coming
gonna
up
check you out.
after the break, and we're going to take you behind the set and see what's going on.
Okay, got you.
That's
Send you to
Lucky
Dr.
me.
Basha.
came out different.